How we doing today, YouTube? Welcome back to Gino's Let's Plays. This is Let's Talk Resident Evil 8 Village. We have a lot to discuss. There's a lot to talk about this game. Obviously, very new release. And we're just going to start at the concept art, pretty much. We're going to go through the story real quickly, and then we'll kind of circle back and talk about it, right? So at first you wake up, you and your family have survived the endangerments of what was Resident Evil 7, and you're reading Rosa book. Out of nowhere, Chris comes in, shoots your wife dead, takes your baby, no explanation, although it could have took like 2 seconds to just explain to Ethan, but no explanation. Ethan's pissed, he's like, yo, you're taking my baby. Chris like, you wouldn't understand, or stay out of it, or something like that, instead of like, explaining. I mean, because Ethan at this point has had some military training, as he mentioned in the beginning of the game as well, so whatever. Chris is like, I got it. Car gets jacked, you're in the middle of the woods, you find a village, next thing you know, you're getting RE4, but with werewolves, so much scarier, right? Okay. You survive that. You have this beautiful world. I'm not going to lie. It is gorgeous. Creepily ugly. Doesn't make you feel good world, right? Okay. You continue. You're going around. And soon enough, you find yourself needing 2 keys to get into the castle. Because you heard that's where Rose is from the old lady. Who is Mother Miranda. So, you go to Louise's house. Great area. I liked how... I guess I've watched other people's playthroughs just a little bit, and I guess you can fight enemies there. I never ran into any, but yeah, I guess there are some. You go to Louise's house. They're all praying to Mother Miranda. It's kind of fucking creepy. And, one of them turns into a light and gets slaughtered. Yeah. Okay. Next thing you know, you wake up, and you're in front of all of them. Everyone you have to kill, pretty much. Which is very similar to how Resident Evil 7 was. However, the characters are much different. Resident Evil 7, it seemed like a collective. The Baker family, they were all different, but similar. And Daddy Baker being the head honcho was just like, the best. But they all had character. I feel like here... they all try to give him a little bit too much character. Heisenberg had the ridiculous voice actor. The MILF, she did her thing. I didn't mind her. She seemed a bit hollow, though. Moreau, not completely fleshed out. And same with the little doll, not completely fleshed out. I feel like Moreau, especially in the little doll, never really got a backstory much, and from everything all you know about the little doll is there's a little girl that died when she was like 7 or something. And now thinking back to it, that might have been Ava's grave, but maybe not. But you don't really get much more than that. You don't get anything about the woman that's the ventriloquist or anything like that. You don't get anything like that. Moreau, he just seems like a simp. I don't know. You don't really get much from him either. Mother Miranda stays mysterious, which is fine because you do learn about her way later. Dimitrescu, you had the whole demo, Maiden's Blood, all of this. It was really good. It was decent. Heisenberg, you learn more towards the end. He's okay. His voice actor still threw me way off. Alright. So then you get dragged. You gotta get all the bus statues. Fun part of the game. It was kind of like a callback to the early RE games where you're running around the same big area trying to find puzzle after puzzle after puzzle. And you have a thing chasing you sometimes. It was really nice. And then, the dungeons in the castle, amazing. Done so well. So well. By far some of the creepiest parts in the game. What else we got? The bells. No, that's not the bells. That's the merchant's room. I mean, this whole part of the game, it was pretty good. It took, I think it's what I had the longest chunk in. I think I didn't get out of it till like part 5. I want to say 4 or 5. It was good. Ooh, the rooftop area, sick. It reminded me of Demon Souls. Super sick. And then the boss fight. I actually kind of like the first boss fight. I mean, it is an RE game, and the boss fights are always kind of the same. Small thing turns into a big monstrous thing, and then you shoot it in weak spot. But I liked it. It gave me callbacks to Salazar boss from Resident Evil 4, with you know, his body being like the thing to hit, and this monstrosity being all around it. Although, yeah, it was good. I liked it. He found a little note mentioning the dagger, happened to find upon it. It was good. Beautiful looking dagger too. Okay, so you get out, and then you gotta go to the second one. Traveling there, a little creepy. It was decent. Could have took a little bit longer, to be honest. But it was pretty decent. The big grave that I never found out where the gravestone was, but now that I've looked it up and I'm so pissed I missed it. But yeah, there's that. And this is kind of where you get a first hint about the little kid, and she died when she was young. Then you go to the creepy mansion. Now this area I liked. It was a change of pace, but it was one of those things where when you replay it, it's gonna be just a slog because you know what happens. It's not gonna be scary. It's gonna take 10 minutes instead of an hour. But I liked it a lot. It was a lot of like to here, to here, to here, to here, to here, to here. And it was done nicely. Oh, it just skips back to Monroe? Wow. Well, I actually really liked after this part when you travel back and before there was mines obstructing the way to things, and then you can kind of get in that way. This is where you find the second shotgun, new enemy type. It was cool. I liked it. I liked the little diversion to kind of keep the trails in between interesting. Then we got the Monroe. Or Moreau, whatever the fuck his name is. Doesn't show, but you meet up with Chris again, and Chris, you know, he has these like dickish one-liners and still doesn't explain to Ethan. And obviously, if Ethan's made it this far, Chris, like, come on, you know. This section wasn't too bad. I thought it was very quick, super quick. Monroe boss fight, not bad at all. But yeah, I mean, the puzzles in the water area where you had the rays, it wasn't that great. It was like, eh. But then you kill Moreau, whatever. Why are we going here? We only have 2 flasks at this point. No, we have 3 flasks. That's right. I don't know. Maybe I missed the cutscene, but because I put the flasks on at the same time. But then you go for your 4th flask. Heisenberg communicates with you over a TV, and you go through this horde of baddies, right? Like the den of evil, to make a Diablo 2 reference. But it was fantastic. I actually loved this part of the game. It was great. The fast-paced action, but you wanted the run, you wanted the move because you felt like they came forever. It was fantastic. 2 bosses. It was great. Absolutely fantastic. Then you get the flask. So then you have all 4 flasks. So then what was the point of going to Heisenberg if you already had all 4 flasks? I guess he didn't understand how to, like, get her back. But you still didn't after this, you know? Didn't make much sense to me. Let's talk to Heisenberg a little bit. He wants you to use Rose as a weapon, which is like the worst way to convince somebody, you know? Like you say, no, we're gonna save her, and then when you kill Mother Miranda with this up, then you double cross. I don't know, it was weird. But whatever, at least he's an honest guy. You run into propeller head, factory, beautiful. It was the only thing that I feel like they took from Resident Evil with you know, like the chapter 5 and 6, where you're kind of in the island and it's, you know, a similar setting where it was a lot more different than it was similar, but the similarity still had the callback to it. The village is way too similar. The castle is way too similar. This was different enough to feel refreshing, and it was great. I mean, I've heard a lot of, backlash with the robot enemies, but I liked it. I thought it was cool. I've never seen something like that. And it wasn't like, I don't know, it was sick. A little easy, they were, but it was sick. It was nice. Was this the boss fight? Now this shit was ridiculous. I mean, I get it, they want to keep it fresh, but when the game really only has 5 main boss fights, like, and let's see, the first one, Lady Dimitrescu, was like a regular boss fight. The second one, you ran around looking for a doll. The third one, regular boss fight. The fourth one, this, not a regular boss fight. And the last one, regular boss fight. So there's only 3 regular boss fights and a bunch of mini bosses. But I don't know. I felt like they could have done this differently and would have came out better. Like, it would have been cool if they stopped that, if they didn't do action here and then you die as you do, and then you do the Chris Redfield part, which is all action, right? I feel like that would have been better. Yeah, then you Chris, whatever, you go back to Ethan, you figure out everything about Resident Evil 7, which makes you think, did they plan this right away with Ethan, or is they're like, hey, you know what, we can make a game out of this? Because, and this is where we're gonna get with some main gripes. I'm gonna start with the bad and then get into the good, and then the whole confusing epilogue. Okay, the bad. Let's go into the bad first. I feel like this game lacked a sense of its own character. It seemed like a homage to pretty much everything prior to it. I mean, every single system was in all other games. I think the only thing unique to this game was the amount of crafting you could do, maybe? No, there was something definitely unique, and it has blown past me because there's one thing. But it lacked its own character, where I feel like, and it's weird, especially coming off 7, which was the prequel to this game and the prequel to this story. 7 had only its own character. It was fantastic. Great. A little supernatural, but fantastic. This game, it just seemed like I got a RE4 reimagining, which is weird due to the rumors that RE4 is going to get a remake like 2 and 3. And it's like, I already feel kind of like I played a little bit of RE4. That's why I'm doing the RE4 Let's Play next, because I just want to get some of it, because I feel like this game just it drew a little too close to that line. Other bad things. Ethan's fucking amount to take damage, and yes, it's explained towards the end of the game, but it was just, you've never seen Resident Evil get this far into like fantasy, and I guess it's a taste thing. I liked it at some points, but at other points it was just way too ridiculous. Getting impaled by Lady Dimitrescu, getting your hand cut off so many times, getting your heart pulled out, like, and you're just fine. Like, I don't know, it just didn't make. It's just a little bit. It just takes you out of it, you know. Especially when every other Resident Evil before 7, and we don't look at 6 because like that really count, but like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all of those. I mean, Leon gets shot in 2 and he's like fucked for a while. And yeah, I get it, the mode, yeah, but it's just like it just throws away the realism, and then it makes, I don't know, when you die to a Lycan, you're like, am I really dead though? You know? So that was a little One of my biggest gripes, and I think one of the dumbest overlooks that they did to this game, is what we're looking at right now. This is the perfect comparison. Or you guys aren't looking at it, but I am, so let me fix that. But this right here, Resident Evil 4, which this game takes a lot from, especially the weapons and the briefcase and all that. What Resident Evil 4 did that was great is every weapon fully upgraded was unique and viable for endgame. Now, yes, there was a meta, but pretty much the worst compared to the best isn't really that far off, because everything was super unique. The first handgun gets 10 times the headshot chance to get crits, while the last handgun, the Red 9, has the highest damage output. So, but it was slower. So everything had its uniqueness. In this game, the first pistol all the way upgraded is not even as good as the last pistol not upgraded. So what the fuck is the point of the first pistol? of the second. You know, there isn't any. Because, like, I feel like this game wants you to... The replayability only comes in New Game Plus. Like, grind up your weapons, but what happens when you're done grinding? And you just have the best of everything? I feel like there's nothing great about that. We're like, I could replay Resident Evil 4. What is this? Almost a decade, pretty much a decade later. And I'm like, I'm going to do a run I've never done before. Because every single gun's unique and I've never done this gun combination. You know what I mean? This is just, you know, get the best thing. I don't know. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way about it. Now, the gun designs, phenomenal. I mean, look at it. Beautiful. But I would rather have a game look a little bit shittier if the actual mechanics of it worked a lot better. And that was the only thing. Art collector? Okay. Yeah, and this just goes back to characters that everything's great. I mean, look-wise, amazing. But yeah, there's just a lot of... When you really look at it after your first playthrough, especially because the first initial playthrough of any RE game is absolutely magical. They have some type of magic there, but the replayability is where it can be a little bit difficult. And I remember RE4 replayability, it's a longer game, at least it seems like, but there's a lot of different gun combinations you could go into it with. RE2 is so short once you know everything that you're able to kind of get into speedrunning right away. And not just that, but then you have the A and the B and the different characters, right? So it's interesting in that aspect as well. RE3 is where they decided to give 1,000 different difficulties. I thought it was a little ridiculous. I thought it was a little too much. But the replayability, I don't know. I didn't really replay 3 too much. So, all right, George, what are you saying here? What are you saying? You're saying let's talk about it, and you sound like you're complaining. Let's talk about the good. Man, the pacing of this game, phenomenal. Never a moment where I was like, this is kind of dragging a little too much. Never a moment. It was always fresh and good. The environments, although sometimes not the most original, were just done so well, finished so well. Just so gorgeous. You wanted to look at shit for so long. And I'm like, I gotta get through this gameplay. I can't just be sitting here looking at the village for an hour. But I wanted to. I fucking wanted to. What else? Creepiness went down a little bit from 7, but it was still there enough. And it was good. I like the first person. For the way they make these games, I feel like third person makes it a little less creepy because you're able to have a lot more field of view, where first person is just like, ugh, when you're running away from something, you just don't see it, you know, and it just feels that much worse. Ammo wise, which is kind of an issue in Resident Evil 7. Once you got to the later half, you just had more ammo than you really needed. You never felt like, oh, I'm almost out of ammo. This game does a good job of it. They could have took it down like 10% more towards the last half, but it was a lot better. It was a lot better, and that felt great. I feel like fantastic. And I feel like every Resident Evil game has a little bit of an issue with that, because by the end of the game, you get so many different weapons, and you get so much different ammo for all these weapons, you're never really out of options. You can never really run yourself dry. What else? Cyborg enemies, great twist. I mean, it was just... the environments were so good. It'd be the number one reason why I replay this game. I want to replay it on the hardest difficulty, Village of Shadows, or whatever it's called. With, you know, kind of the load I already have, or use some of the new weapons like the M4 that you unlock at the end of the game and stuff like that, and kind of go through it like that. Kill that fucker in the first ambush, the big dude. But it was a good game. Okay. What are we gonna go here? What are we gonna do here? What are we gonna rate it? Because I think my initial rating, if I remember, was 9 point... What was it? 9.5, I think I said. Yeah, that was bold as fuck. Definitely not a 9.5. I would say... I'd give it an 8.2. 8.2. Resident Evil Village. Would I play it again? Yes. Will I need some time away from it? Yes. it's a good game. 8.2, first playthrough amazing. I think it's a good game. I think 7 and 8 are great games. Them as a sequel, I like how they didn't overdraw the character too. He kind of came in for 2 games, did his thing, that's that. The ending, the way they made it seem like a sequel could come from, I kind of didn't like. The way they go like 20 years in the future and you see Rose and then she's still talking about Chris, which at this point Chris is like fucking 70. And you know he's alive for the next 20 years, so are you really scared about him being in another RE game? Probably not. I don't know. I thought that was way too much in the future for them to do something like that. They could have done something a lot easier or better. But 8.2, Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 8. That's my critiques. All that. I could honestly go on probably for another 40 minutes, but I'm gonna keep it there. I had no script, so I'm kind of just off the cuff. You guys have a fantastic day. That's it for the Let's Talk. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications for the latest drops, and I'll see you guys in the next playthrough. Resident Evil 4, the best Resident Evil. Maybe I guess. Why am I reloading? This isn't Call of Duty! Wait, does that pause it? I'm guessing it does. No, it does not! Oh my god, I don't want to walk towards her. I'm closing my eye. Oh, it's worse! We're just running. Ooh! Oh my god!